Today we're going to talk more about lateral and surface area. We're going to talk about pyramids and cones and spheres today. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about pyramids. So here are the formulas for lateral area and surface area of a pyramid. So this P right here represents the perimeter of the base. And this L is what we call the slant height. And the slant height is simply the height of one of these triangles of the sides. So we've got 4 of them here because our base. But this particular slant height that's drawn up here is the height of that green triangle I have drawn. And so for the total surface area, remember this is the lateral, plus the B, which is the area of the base. Now, the area of the base is going to vary depending on what kind of pyramid you have. So here's our first example. So we're going to find lateral and surface area. Okay, so remember for our pyramid, the lateral is equal to 1/2 the perimeter base times the length of the slant height. Well, we don't have the slant height. We can find the perimeter easily. The slant height, we need to figure out what this segment is right here. So we've got a right triangle inside of here. Now, since the bottom of this is a square or a regular polygon, and this side length right here is 10, this piece right here is half of the side length, so this is 5. So I'm going to kind of pull this triangle out of our shape, if I can draw it correctly. Goodness. Alright, so if this is 5, the height of this thing is 15. This is going to give me my slant height. So I need to use Pythagorean theorem to figure out what my slant height is. So I have 5 squared plus 15 squared is equal to L squared because our slant height is our hypotenuse. So it's 25 plus 15 squared is 225 is equal to L squared. So then we add 225 and 25 and we get 250. Excuse me. And then I got to find the square root of both sides. So square root of 250 is 15.8. And that is my L. So now, before I plug in, I'm going to go ahead and say the perimeter is equal to, we've got 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. Because all these bottom pieces are marked congruent, all of them are 10. So my perimeter, my base, is 40. Now I can plug into my formula. So we have 1/2 times 40 times 15.8. And put that in your calculator. And you get 316. And the units is inches squared. So that's my lateral. Now my total is equal to the lateral plus the base. Now the base in this case is a square. So I'm going to use length times width. So we have 316. We found our lateral plus the base in this case is going to be length times width. So the length is 10 and the width is 10. So we have 316 plus 100. So my total surface area is 416 inches squared. Next, let's talk about cones. So for cones, the lateral area is pi RL. So R is the radius, and again, L is the slant height. So here's L, here's our slant height, and there's our radius. Now, the total surface area is the lateral plus the base. Now, the base is a circle, so we're going to find the area of the circle. So more specifically, since we know the area of a circle is pi r squared, the total is equal to the lateral plus pi r squared. So let's do an example with a cone. So we have find lateral and surface area. So lateral area is equal to pi times r times L. Okay, so then we plug in. Now R is 15. Not 15, excuse me. R is 5. But we don't know what L is. Any guess how we can find L? Pythagorean theorem again. I think this is what we had earlier. Coincidence. So I'm going to find the L. L squared is equal to 15 squared plus 5 squared. So that is 225 plus 25. Oh, did that again, huh? So L squared is 250. So my slant height in this case, when we take the square root, is 15.8 again. Just coincidence that it worked out to be the same one. So that is 15.8. So we have pi times my r, which is 5, times my L, which is 15.8. So let's put that in our calculator and use the pi button instead of using 3.14. So you get 248.2, and we have meters squared. So that's my lateral. And my total, in this case, is equal to the lateral plus, and I'm going to go ahead and use the pi r squared. So my lateral is 15.8 plus, not 15.8, excuse me, looking at the wrong thing, 248.2 plus pi times the radius, which is 5, squared. So we put that in our calculator, we get 326.7. In our units, meters squared. So that's our total. The last thing we're going to talk about is a sphere. So spheres only have surface area. We don't have any lateral surface area for the spheres because there's really no faces or bases. It's just one smooth surface. So for this one, the total surface area is 4 times pi times r squared, and r again is our radius. But also we have what's called a hemisphere. Now a hemisphere is literally we're taking our sphere, excuse me, and we're chopping it in half at the chopping it directly in half, excuse me. So what we have left, I chopped that off and only kept the top part. So for this, we've got the curved part, half of it, plus the area of the circle that's at the bottom of this. So we have pi r squared. So let's do an example with spheres. Okay, so this says find the surface area. So actually we have a hemisphere here. So the surface area for a hemisphere is 1/2 of 4 pi r squared plus pi r squared. And the only thing we have to plug in for is that r. So that's r right there, the 3. So we have 1/2 times 4 times pi times 3 squared plus pi times 3 squared. When you put this in your calculator, you're going to get 84.8. And my units are meters squared. Now, these are just a few examples of pyramids, cones, and spheres. And don't forget your pyramids, you can have different shapes of the bases. So you have to really think about how to find the area of the base before you can do the surface area.